encore que la mort vient de frapper le Dakar. Le 601 a décollé sur une petite dune. Le navigateur Kees van Lovenzin, 31 ans, a été éjecté et tué sur le coup. Ses deux compagnons sont blessés.
Okay, don't move, just wait. We are trying to do the best.
Why can't I see?
Pendant ce temps, inconscient du drame, De Roy fonce vers Arlit.
Siguen a un ritmo realmente demoledor, escapándose del resto. Ahí dobla Satriano, ahí dobla también Oscar Valentín Trompo. ¡Ay, cómo se pegó! Mauras. ¡Qué tremenda piña de Roberto Mauras! ¡Qué tremenda piña! Se ha pegado muy fuerte contra algo,
As Martin's battered car slid to a stop off turn 4, the track caution lights came on at start-finish. The next 3 cars on the scene are all traveling at high speed, yet they managed to avoid Martin. Finally, nearly 15 seconds after the accident starts, Renshaw is unable to avoid the stationary car. Now, like the others, Renshaw clearly had no idea the car was there. On Saturday, NASCAR announced a new rule calling for spotters to be in their designated stand every time cars are on track. ARCA is considering a similar rule.
Martin's car spun in turn 4 and backed into the outside wall. His car came to a stop, and he appeared to be moving around when his car was then struck on the driver's side by a car driven by Deborah Renshaw at an estimated 160 miles an hour. That impact occurred more than 8 seconds after Martin's car had come to a complete stop. Martin's car was destroyed as the impact tore away the engine and left a part of the wheel assembly lying on the racetrack.
Accidente. Tras tocar la rueda trasera de una moto, el esloveno Mati Hadud pierde el control del vehículo y termina impactando primero contra el piso y luego contra las cubiertas que sirven de contención en el sector de acceso a los boxes. Su estado sigue siendo muy grave, sufrió lesiones neurológicas muy importantes y politraumatismos tras este fuerte accidente. Tiene sangrado y mucho edema cerebral.
Joe Boer on the second lap of the race. Boer in car number 98 loses it coming out of turn 2. His vehicle slams into the wall, slides and spins in a cloud of smoke. Rodney White enters that cloud and broadsides Boer's car. 51-year-old veteran was pronounced dead at Halifax Medical Center.
running for the lead early in the 40-lap race, Jim Robinson made contact with number 28 Gary Collins, then spun and smashed hard into the outside wall. Safety crews were on the scene quickly, and Robinson, a three-time NASCAR Winston West Series champion, was airlifted to a Phoenix hospital with severe head injuries. In replay, you can see that Robinson's car barely misses the near wall that might have stopped it with less damage. The gap created by the safety access road gave the car time to spin before it hit the outer wall driver's side first. At last word, Robinson remained in critical condition.
Chacun se souvient en effet de la sortie de route qui, en début d'épreuve l'an dernier, coûta la vie à un autre pilote du team Lancia, Attilio Bettega. Son équipier s'en était sorti sans une égratignure.
For 12 laps, a steady run without incident, and then disaster in lap 13. Only the slow-motion camera can show what really happened. As the car crashed the rails and turned over, Mays, who refused to wear the safety belt, was hurled onto the track. Beneath the wheels of other speeding cars, a dauntless driver met his end.
Un enchaînement de situations malheureuses provoque souvent un accident tragique. Ce n'est pas toujours la faute des pilotes. La mort de l'Autrichien Markus Oettinger, à l'âge de 23 ans, au cours d'une course en Formule 2, à Hockenheim, vous le démontre. Il fut atteint à la tête par une roue mal montée. Il succomba sur le chemin de l'hôpital suite à ses blessures. Ce genre d'accident est assez rare, mais tout est possible dans le sport automobile.
Sind so freundlich und machen. Ja, ich habe das auch richtig nachfotografiert, nämlich alles aufgerissen. Das machen wir dann im Fachverkehr. Die Aufnahmen mache ich gleich mit der Fachreichkamera.
Guy Renard, un jeune homme de Malmedy. Guy Renard donc qui a tapé les rails à gauche et à droite. La voiture a été percutée par deux autres et c'était l'incendie.
Oui, la caméra était présente immédiatement après cet incident. Et voilà les images recueillies. Aussi un premier témoignage au micro de Pierre Robert, les commissaires présents bien sûr.
We're sorry to have to report on another tragedy that's happened all too often this year. Thursday night at Winchester Speedway, three-time USAC champion Robbie Stanley spun on lap number 7. He was hit several times and his car burst into flames. Stanley was fatally injured in the crash. The 26-year-old driver was trying to become the first sprint car driver in USAC history to win the championship 4 straight years.
When the green flag fell, it was Eric Gordon that jumped out to the early lead where he was safe for the first 10 laps. But it was on lap 7 that Robbie Stanley would sustain a fatal blow after his car had spun out. No one knew the terrible news that would follow, so after the debris was cleaned up, it was back to green flag racing.
The early laps he contested with
Danny McLean and Hut Strickland. Several cautions kept the field close before Hut dropped by the wayside. Watch the lower portion of the track. Dr. Dool Sturgill explodes into Joe Young. Joe, a Richmond native, died instantly. This lap 36 multi-car crash was in the third and fourth turns. Young had massive internal injuries and a fractured skull. Reading, Pennsylvania was the next stop for the sprinters. For the second time this year, disaster strikes. Judd Larson and Red Regal made contact, sending them into a vicious series of flips. Both died. It was a sad time in sprint racing.
Indiana native who just raced in the Indianapolis 500 this summer is still listed in critical condition roughly 24 hours after this stunning crash in Kansas. Race fans from around the world right now sending their thoughts and prayers to a hospital room in Nebraska, all for Noblesville native Brian Clausen.
Now the six-lap event for sports cars with Frank Matich, number 1, leading Bevan Gibson in car 6. Gibson breaks a lap record, but soon after his Elfin Repco hits a bump and overturns, spinning on its top. Gibson died before rescuers could get him out of the burning wreckage. In view of the tragedy, race leader Matich and other competitors retired from the event. For 23-year-old Bevan Gibson, Bathurst was the tragic end of a most promising racing career.
Triumph and tragedy shared the 66 12 hours of Sebring. In 25 laps, Dan Gurney passed 63 cars and took the lead. But in late afternoon, Bob McLean flipped his Ford GT40 and was killed.
sitten lähdetään kohtalokkaalle EK:lle. Ensimmäisenä tapahtumapaikalle tuli Harri Rovanperä.
No pakkohan sun on ei, ota. Nyt on sattunut. En call. Marco, stop the state. We need an ambulance. Ambulance, quickly. Marco, for East, stop the state. We need an ambulance. Martin went off. Marco, for East, could you hear me? So, copied. Doing it. We're doing it. What's the problem? Marco went off and Michael need ambulance. And very bad accident. We need ambulance and everything, please.
Takaa tullut François Duval ei osaa jarruttaa hyvissä ajoin ja on törmätä tuohon Rovanperän Mitsuun.
Okei.
Tilanne näyttää todella pahalta ja niin kuin näitte, niin todella huolestuneena Marko Märttiin juoksee tuolla auton ympärillä.
He died at the scene. He raced in 3 Grand Am races last season and planned to run the full schedule this season for Archangel Motorsports. Friday's qualifying for the Nextel 250 was canceled after the accident. The field was set by points. Track officials shut down the speedway for 3 hours while police investigated.
Bloqueadas incluidas, salen de aquel sector, se fueron juntando todo. ¡Opa! ¿Qué pasó? El auto de Guillermo Castellano está tomando fuego y era el de Besone el otro. A ver, ahí está el auto de Besone. Un impacto importante, ahí vemos el auto de Salerno, hay pescar, se neutraliza la carrera, un golpe importante. En esta competencia se baja Tito Besone. Está tomando fuego, ahí estaba el tanque de combustible y ahí hay otro auto. A ver, atención, es el auto
Danlen.
De Pedro Danlen, el de Pedro Danlen. Ahí está el de Guillermo Castellano.
Guillermo Castellano sobre el auto de Danlen. Ahora lo vamos a ver otra vez, más lento. Ahí está Danlen haciendo el trompo, lo toca apenas aló, pasa Pinchito Castellano por el otro lado, lento los dos. Ahora va a venir Besone, que se lo encuentra después de que Campanera le pega, lo hace en un trompo, lo dice para atrás y lo engancha Besone, pasa a Ortelli y allí va a venir, después de este tiempo, va a aparecer el auto de Castellano. Ahí viene. Hay un poco de bruma que vemos desde aquí, pero se puede ver el auto de Castellano que golpea de costado queriendo esquivarlo y hace trompo en el sentido contrario.